Good evening. Welcome to Discount Tuesday and Turtle Tuesday, my non-existent viewers. I'm watching, this is episode 10, I believe, of Turtle Tuesday. I'm watching the episode right now called Baxter's Gambit. It's when Fishface and Dog Pound just like abandon Baxter and like soon he's gonna seek revenge. I'm gonna practice my multitasking in this video because I just got home from seeing Moana 2. So the first bit of this video, I'm gonna be like just giving my little review for Moana 2 and like trying to pay attention to the episode at the same time. Like I'm not gonna. I've turned the volume down. I'm not gonna this is why my friend, most clever shark name ever, Sharky, is joining us this video. Hopefully his beautiful face will stimulate your short little attention span instead of me like having to hurt my wrist and twist my camera around. But anyways, Moana 2, I was really excited for it at first. Like, seeing Ali Carvalho and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, reprise their respective roles as Moana and Maui. But like, I did not like read the critical consensus on Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb before going to this movie, nor did I watch any YouTube reviews covering Moana 2, but I just saw from thumbnails on YouTube videos that like it wasn't doing that well, like with the audience at least, or the critics, and I was like, oh, this can't be good. Like, and then after seeing the movie for itself, like last time I checked, it was 64% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, it's not, I thought it was better than Wish from last year. Like, but this has been like my relationship with like Disney and Pixar movies for the past 2 years, ever since Lightyear. Like, I don't dislike the newer Disney movies. I still enjoy them. Like, they're fine as films, that they're good as movies. But like in 2022, it was Lightyear and Turning Red, both Pixar films, right? And Wish last year from Disney, for its 100th anniversary. Holy heck. And this year with Moana 2, it's like, I like them as movies, like they're good as movies, but just mediocre as Disney movies. Like, Lightyear is just very mediocre compared to the other Toy Story films. Turning Red, like mediocre, quite mediocre, honestly, compared to like the other Pixar, original films. And same thing with Wish, just like, hey, it's supposed to be the 100th anniversary of Disney, and like, I get it, but it just feels like mediocre, like, for this for 100 years of Disney. And this year with Moana 2, it's like, again, I said this in my Mean Girls review that I did back in January. Like, I'm so happy for Ali Carvalho that like this has been her year with 2 on-screen appearances, on the big screen. And I said that, with seeing her go from Moana and taking on all these different TV and movie roles, it's like it feels like the actress herself is like, when there's an actress that that's kind of the same age as yours that you're introduced to in high school, right? It feels like the actress herself is growing up with her fans, right? And in this movie, again, one thing I did like about Moana 2 was Moana's little sister, who was like, I like how they kept the meme worthiness of baby Moana from Moana 1 with Moana's new little sister. Like, yeah, it feels like not just the actress, but the character herself is growing up with her fans too. So, and I did the animation once again, it's gorgeous, and I like the songs for the most part, and the action scenes are pretty cool. Like, I was never bored in Moana 2, but holy cow, the pacing is way too fast, which is ironic because the biggest problem that I had with the first movie, which I love the first Moana very much, but I'll deny its biggest flaw is how the pacing is a little too slow in the first Moana, especially in the third act. Meanwhile, I guess Disney learned from their mistakes a little too much in that aspect, where Moana 2 is just way too fast for 90 minutes. Honestly, it kind of feels like one of those straight to DVD sequels that Disney would make in the early 2000s. And I like how they brought back Hey the chicken and the cute little piggy from the first movie with Moana and Maui. But honestly, I really couldn't care less about the new characters, except the Kakamora in this movie have a pretty interesting arc that I really liked. But the other characters were like, and I did like how they got an actress from New Zealand to voice the new girl that's on Moana's boat, like that for like Maori representation. For Polynesia and the South Pacific, I thought that was pretty nice. But otherwise, the new characters they introduced were, again, they were just really one note, and just like, I just thought they were one dimensional, honestly, and just didn't really give any like lasting impressions, and were honestly, they were just there for like, to throw a wrench in Moana's plans. Like, it's weird because Moana proves that that Disney princess does not need a love interest or a villain, except Tamatoa, I guess, to be interesting and be a compelling Disney princess. This movie, again, without spoiling it kind of backpedals on that. And I just feel like, the narratively speaking, there's just so much more they could have done, but they played it safe. It's almost like this movie kind of has the Force Awakens treatment, where people often consider like Force Awakens be too much of a retread of A New Hope. Yeah, that's what Moana 2 feels like with Moana 1, or from like compared to Moana 1. And narratively speaking, honestly, everything that this movie did do well, Moana 1 could have done better. Moana 1 did do better, excuse me. But overall, like, I will say, I'll end the Moana 2 portion of this video by just saying this. I'm really not opposed to a Moana 3. Just like I was giving a Frozen 3, I would rather take Moana 3 over a freaking live-action remake, which I cannot believe. Like, I love Ali Carvalho. She's very precious. But why another live action remake for a Disney film that's not even freaking like 10 years old yet? Moana, the first movie, just turned 8. Why? Yes. Sharky, how do those sunglasses taste? Stay glassy, Sharky. Stay glassy. Alright, so I have a confession to make, my non-existent viewers. My multitasking skills are not as great as I'd like them to be, but hey, practice takes practice. I love how this episode is giving us finally the turtles and, Baxter and Zever. I mean, Dog Pound and Fish Face. They're finally getting to team up, like the old phrase, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Like, this episode is called Baxter's Gambit. Next episode is going to be called Enemy of My Enemy, which I looked ahead already. That Karai is going to team up with the Turtles again next episode, which, yeah, that's like, that's super cool, in my opinion. I wonder how long this truce between, because I'm watching these episodes completely, like, just, blind. My first time watching this series in its entirety. I wonder how long this truce is going to last between Fishface and, the Turtles, because Fishface and Dog Pound, I think it's funny how these two villains that are fighting for the same Dark Lord just can't stand each other. So even if they go back to being evil and like enemies of the Turtles again, like maybe they'll start being friendlier towards each other because Baxter's trying to kill them both. So they realize like, hey, we should really like cooperate and just do evil badness together. Sharks aren't evil, by the way. Sharks are very, very intelligent and fascinating, misunderstood creatures. That is actually one thing this franchise, the Turtle, like the whole, as a multimedia franchise, the movies, the TV shows, the comics, is really like how it shines bright on like, how we how like animals are just as victims of stereotypes as humans, like various ethnic groups. Like, a lot of animals are widely misunderstood. Reptiles especially, I've met people who just like hate snakes and hate even like I know the deep south phrase only good snake is a dead snake, which I met one of the reptile. I've met a few of the reptile keepers at the zoo I work at, right? Where I've taken a lot of photos and videos of turtles that not tonight obviously, but I'll cover in the future series. Couple that like the turtle facts with the Ninja Turtles episode reviews. Like, one of the reptile keepers I've met has told me that like visitors have said straight to her face that the only good snake is a dead snake. That really upsets me. And also I meet people who just like who think that lizards and crocodilians are all just super like mischievous and malicious because they're scaly and cold-blooded. People love sea turtles though. Sea turtles are very like unstigmatized because of how cute they are, and very rightfully so. But I feel like, you know, I talked about this in a previous Turtle Tuesday episode about alligator snapping turtles. Like, yeah, again, would not want to be in the receiving end of those jaws. Neither would Sharky. But they're so ugly that they're cute. And, you know, I remember, like, in the movie Mutant Mayhem, like, you had all these mutants getting together, like Superfly, like Leatherhead, Bebop, Rocksteady, you know, the Gecko character voiced by Paul Rudd, and the Bat character in that movie. All these different characters of, like, mutant versions of animals that get, like, villainized a lot, like, in you know, just, like, in culture and society. Like, you know, wolves, like, and snakes, spiders, sharks. You know, there's Ray Fillet, who was voiced by Post Malone in that movie. And, of course, Master Splinter, you know, being a rat. Like, rats are often despised, too. And, yet Master Splinter represents a rat. Yeah. But, overall, this is, like, I'm at the 15-minute mark of the episode where Raph is, you know, is with Fish Face, and they're trying to avoid flying into a turbine. Turbine. I think I'm going with turbine. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Alrighty, so I just got done watching the Baxter Gambit episode, and I'm watching the Enemy of My Enemy episode right now, and I love how this episode. I honestly think this might be my favorite, like, you know, Baxter's Gambit. I just started watching Enemy of My Enemy, so I'm gonna do my best to multitask again. Like, I love how it dived into, like, Zever's backstory when it was just him and Raph, like, having to get through that maze, that part of the maze together before they reunite with Dog Pound and the other turtles. And, like, Raph asks him about why, like, Zever works for Shredder, and, like, he goes all deep into how he's originally from Brazil and he was an expert thief, and he was arrested finally, and Shredder basically freed him from jail. And, you know, basically, like, to return the favor, Fish Face now works for him. And, again, great job at humanizing a character that, like, Zever becomes more humane as he becomes less human in this fish form. Like, honestly, I love it. It's kind of cliche, depending on who you ask, but I've always really liked it when films and, like, movies and... or it's the same thing, TV shows, like, gamings and stuff like that, you know, dive into themes like that. You know, like the humanity within the monster, or, like, the monster within the humanity. Excuse me, that sort of thing. And we just got done watching the Enemy of My Enemy episode, which, again, another really great episode. It's too bad that they actually got along with Dog Pound and Fish Face in the last episode better than they did with Karai this one. Because they have a deal set at first, and then Leo kind of ruins it, and they get into another sword fight again. They still get the rocket launcher to take down the Krang's UFO. And I love the episode ends with a Shredder telling Karai, "You've always wanted a pet," and he holds up, like, a screaming like Krang. And, like, yeah, because you know, Karai being the Shredder's daughter, the bomb is dropped on Leo that Shredder is Karai's daddy. That's crazy. I've seen their reactions to it. But yeah, two really great episodes, all things considered. Like, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. And yeah, sure, I'm gonna, like, just snuggle with Sharky and go to bed soon. Alright, good night. Stay beastly.